Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Philosophy 250. My name's Steve Pelton. I'll be your instructor for this semester. I've taught this course many times on campus. I'm part of the Rochester campuses for Bryan Stratton College. If you are somebody from Western New York, you may recognize that. But I've also taught these online, and this is my favorite course to teach. I've taught it many times, and I really enjoy it. So I hope you do too. So this video is just going to be an introduction to me and basically to the class and what you can expect. I'm going to try to post at least one video, sometimes maybe two a week, hopefully just to kind of flesh out some of the things that we're going to be talking about or some of the assignments that I'm going to do that week. So hopefully you find these informative and helpful. So philosophy itself. Why are you taking this course? I know some of you are probably asking that question. I'm majoring in medical or criminal justice or business. I want to be an accountant. I want to be a nurse. What do I need to learn philosophy for? Well, think about the term itself. Philosophy. This is a compound term in Greek. So it's phileo and sophia. And phileo means is a verb to love, and sophia is the word wisdom. And so philosophy is the love of wisdom, or maybe more accurately, the pursuit of wisdom. The goal of a class like this is to pursue wisdom, not just knowledge. There's going to be a difference there, and we'll elaborate on that as the semester goes on. It's one thing to know a lot of stuff. You read your books, you read your textbooks, you watch your videos, whatever you need to do, and you'll learn a lot of terms. You'll learn a lot of data, and that's good. The question is, what do you do with that data? So knowledge is good. Wisdom is something else. So the goal of a class like this is to really start to understand how we use our knowledge. We start thinking about how we think, and in doing that, we learn a little bit more about how we act or why we act the way we act. This is about kind of lifestyles, choices that we make, things that do affect our careers without question, but also affect our lives. So this isn't just about how do I deal with difficult situations at work or something. This is also about how do I deal with difficult situations in my life, raising my children, what kind of relationships I'm in, how do I save my money and be wise with that. What are the right choices in this situation or the wrong choices? Are there right choices or wrong choices? That's the relevance of a class like philosophy. So that's broadly speaking, painting with a very broad brush, some of the things we're going to be talking about in this class. More specifically, we're going to have some sections on emotional intelligence. So there's intelligence, more of the IQ thing, but what about emotion? What role does that play? We're going to talk about communication in language and how something seemingly so subtle or so mundane, I guess you could say, as language is really chock full of lots of power, and we don't realize that until we start to analyze it. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about ethics. Ethics is a specific branch of philosophy that's dealing with notions of right and wrong. And so we've got a couple of really great thought exercises to do in that section on ethics. You'll really get a lot out of those. The trolley dilemma and the ring of Gyges discussion. So they're really great weeks coming up. We're also going to talk about logic, and logic is the branch of philosophy that deals with argumentation. And we're not talking about arguing with your wife or husband about whose turn it is to do the dishes. It's crafting arguments. These are how do I know that my argument, the thing I'm trying to convince somebody of perhaps is a sound one or is a strong argument. So we'll spend some time talking about that. So those are kind of how we break up the semester. It goes very quickly, 7.5 weeks. Those of you who have taken the courses online, you know that these things really fly by. But to that point, we need to be very mindful of keeping track of our daily work. Things fly by, and you don't want to be left behind. So, as I said, as I go on, I'll talk a little bit more about what the expectations are. Right now, I'll just say, yes, you do have one big kind of term paper this semester. So we start, I think, rolling that out maybe week 2 or week 3, week 2, I think. And that's, sometimes we call it the controversial paper. So you take a specific controversial subject, and you're going to argue for one position on that controversy. So it could be gun control or abortion or environmentalism or medicinal marijuana or something like that. And you're going to choose a side to argue for. So that's kind of the capstone project. So I just want to kind of throw that out there, letting you know what's going to be coming up in terms of big assignments. In terms of the week-to-week kind of stuff, discussion posts, and reflections. These are important just because they're not difficult, but they take a little bit of time. The discussion posts especially, these are essential to a class like this. This is our classroom discussion. So my suggestion to you is this. Each week opens on Sunday. I would highly suggest trying to get your initial post in, your first post, by Tuesday. Now this week starts on a Wednesday, so that doesn't really count. We're starting, week 2 and on. And that gives you enough time, if you get it posted by Tuesday, to have enough time to actually respond to your classmates, because you want to have three to four response to different classmates every week. It's easy to fall behind on that, or to kind of, feel like you're playing catch up the whole semester if you get behind on those early. Same thing goes with the reflections, the reflective essays. Most weeks have them. They're not really these long, elaborate papers. They're reflections, as you can guess. So keep up with those. If you do those two things, really, it's going to make the entire semester a heck of a lot easier. So in terms of just logistics, in terms of just kind of the day-to-day operations of the class, those are the two things I really just want to point out to you right now. I want to sum this up just because I don't want to bore you the first week. But I am excited. I hope you are excited too. I do think you're going to get a lot out of this class. Every semester, I have students at the end who say, I didn't think I would like this kind of stuff, or I didn't think I'd see any relevance in what we're learning, but boy, I did. I was really surprised. And so I'm certain that many of you are going to feel the same way. So get involved in that first discussion post, which is just like an introduction. Start meeting your classmates, start introducing yourself to me, and we'll get this show on the road. Thanks, folks, and we'll be in touch soon.